Love doesn't always leave with a scream. More often, it slips away in the quiet moments. The unanswered question, the avoided touch, the silence where conversation used to live. If you've ever sat across from someone and felt utterly alone, if you've ever wondered, is it me or is something changing? This video will give you the clarity you deserve. Because when love fades, it leaves clues. Tiny, almost invisible at first, but undeniable once you know what to look for. Today, we're walking through the 5 earliest signs someone's heart is pulling away. No guesswork, no drama, just truth. Let's begin. Sign number 1, loss of curiosity. Part 1, the shift. Edna and Paul were married for 42 years. Every morning, Edna would share stories about her garden, her sister's latest drama, even the stray cat that kept visiting their porch. Paul used to lean in. What happened next, he'd ask. Did you call the vet about that cat? But over time, his responses grew shorter. That's nice. Until one day, Edna realized he hadn't asked her a single question in weeks. Part 2, why it matters. Curiosity is the oxygen of love. When someone cares, they want to know your thoughts, your small wins, even your mundane frustrations. But when love fades, that curiosity dies. It's not that you've become boring, it's that they've stopped investing in you emotionally. Part 3, real-life examples. Example 1, Sarah's husband forgot her promotion dinner, the one she'd talked about for weeks. Not because he's forgetful, but because he'd stopped listening months ago. Example 2, James used to text his wife, "How'd your presentation go?" Now he doesn't even know what day she has meetings. Part 4, the gut check. Ask yourself, when was the last time they asked about something only you would know? Not, how was your day? But did your mom finally get her test results? Or how's that project you were stressed about? If you're drawing a blank, that's your answer. And just like a plant without water, a relationship without curiosity withers. Which brings us to sign number 2. Sign number 2, decreased patience. Part 1, the unseen threshold. Helen had always been forgetful. For 50 years, her husband Richard would laugh and say, "Where'd you leave your glasses this time, love?" But then, the sighs started, the eye rolls. One evening, Helen asked for help resetting her password. Richard slammed his book down. "Figure it out yourself," he snapped. That moment, it wasn't about the password. It was about patience and the love that fuels it. Part 2, the science behind it. Research shows that when we love someone, our brain tolerates their flaws effortlessly. But as love fades, the same habits trigger irritation. It's not you, it's their emotional withdrawal. Part 3, subtle signs. Tone, their voice tightens when you ask simple questions. Body language, crossed arms, avoiding eye contact during conversations. Words, you should know this by now or not this again. Part 4, the key question. Do you feel like you're too much lately? Newsflash, you're the same person they once adored. Jim. The difference? Their capacity to care has changed. If this resonates, hit like. It helps others find this video. And if you're new here, subscribe for more insights like this. Sign number 3, lack of time together. Ray and Linda had a ritual, Saturday breakfast at their favorite diner. Then Linda started sleeping in. Then it was, "I have errands." Soon Ray was eating alone. When he asked why, Linda said, "I just need space." But here's the truth. Space is often a gentle word for distance. And distance, it's the silent killer of love. Deep dive, types of withdrawal. Physical absence, they're suddenly busy every weekend. Emotional absence, they're in the same room but scrolling, distracted. Rituals forgotten, no more goodnight kisses or shared TV shows. Storytelling, the porch swing. Margaret and Tom used to sit on their porch swing every evening. Then Tom started forgetting. One night, Margaret sat alone, swinging silently. That swing became a metaphor for their marriage, once full of motion, now still. Sign number 4, emotional withholding. Gloria knew Samuel's tells. For 20 years, she could read him like a book. When he was stressed, he'd twist his wedding ring. When he was grieving, he'd stare at old photos. But after his brother's funeral, nothing. No tears, no late-night talks, just silence. Then one day, Gloria found the funeral program tucked in his sock drawer, creased like he'd carried it in his pocket for weeks. He'd gone alone, sat in that pew alone, buried his only brother, alone. That's emotional withholding. When the person who once whispered their deepest fears to you under the covers now locks their pain away like a secret. They'll wear a mask for the world. "I'm fine," they'll say at parties. "Just tired," they'll murmur at dinner. But here's the truth. Love is safety. When someone no longer feels safe with you or no longer wants you to see their truth, they'll perform. They'll hand you scripted lines instead of raw confessions. And the longer it goes on, the more you'll feel like a stranger in your own relationship. Psychologists call this stonewalling. It's not just silence, it's the deliberate withholding of emotional connection. And it's often the first step toward emotional divorce. Real-life examples. Example 1. Maggie's husband used to vent about work every night. Then suddenly he'd say, "It's nothing." But she'd overhear him laughing on the phone with his sister about the same problem. That sting? That's the moment you realize you're no longer their confidant. Example 2. Raj used to text his wife random thoughts. "This song reminded me of you," or "miss you." Then the messages stopped. When she asked why, he said, "I just didn't have anything to say." But the unspoken truth? He didn't have anything to say. To her, ask yourself, when was the last time they shared something real? Not the weather, not past the salt, but the messy, vulnerable stuff. The fears, the regrets, the "I need you" moments. If you're searching for an answer, that is your answer. A slow push-in on a locked diary, the key still in it, symbolic of secrets kept. Sign number 5, physical withdrawal. Carlos and Maria had a ritual. Every Sunday morning, he'd pull her close and murmur, "5 more minutes." Then one winter, the touches stopped. No more hand-holding during walks. No more absent-minded strokes of her hair while he read. Maria told herself it was age, stress, until the night she reached for him in bed, and he flinched. That tiny recoil, that involuntary jerk away from her skin, told her everything. The body knows before the heart admits it. The science of touch research shows that loving touch releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone. But when emotional connection fades, the brain registers even a partner's touch as unfamiliar. That's why they tense up, why they find excuses. Their body is literally rewiring itself to unlearn intimacy. Microsigns, the avoidance dance. They change clothes in the bathroom now. They accidentally bump into you less. Their hugs last exactly 2 seconds. You count. The flinch. You go to fix their collar and they jerk back like you burned them. That's not reflex. That's revulsion. The excuses, "I'm tired," replaces, "Come here." Not tonight becomes never. The silent goodbye, physical withdrawal isn't just about sex. It's about presence, the way they no longer lean into your voice, how they've started crossing their arms when you talk, the empty space on the couch that grows wider every month. These aren't accidents. They're quiet goodbyes. Love is supposed to pull you together. If you're feeling pushed away, trust that instinct. If you saw yourself in these signs, please hear this. You deserve love that chooses you. Not out of habit, but out of hunger. Not just in words, but in actions. If you're ready to face the truth, you're already braver than most. Hit like if this helped you see clearly. Subscribe for more honest conversations. And remember, you are worthy of a love that stays.